Be ready. 10 seconds to go. Start. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman, for giving me this opportunity to speak on the President's address. For the past few hours, we have been hearing a lot of political exchange and we have heard some very passionate speeches also. I think what is far more important is to look at it from taking a little dispassionate view. In the President's address, we have a plethora of schemes being mentioned. If the economic survey is to be believed, today there are 950 central government schemes whose budget takes up 5% of the GDP. Now, many of these schemes were framed by earlier governments, and many of these schemes are the handiwork of this government. Let me say that all of them were probably well intentioned. They had a specific purpose in mind. The question which we have to ask ourselves at this stage is, to what extent have we acquired the capacity to be able to put well-intentioned schemes into operation? I think this is an issue which does not affect the center alone, but it affects the states as well. It is really a shame when people really contrast how good a certain state has been doing in terms of women's empowerment. It is always against the lapses of the central government. Likewise, a similar case can be made. The economic survey pinpoints certain schemes which have very well been executed. There have been schemes in Chhattisgarh which have been wonderfully executed. There have been schemes in Tamil Nadu which have been wonderfully executed, and these are issues of which we need to take a pride. But let us take a look at the schemes which have faltered. If we were to add up the entire development budgets of India since 1947 till now, I think we would be correct in saying that the slogan of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat would not have remained just a slogan. It would have been a reality. So, the question is not merely of leakages, it is today the inability of the state to deliver. Now we are having some bizarre situations. Can we blame it on the bureaucracy? My friend was very right in saying that a lot of sterling work has been done in this government by the very same officers who earlier may have been inefficient, and I think that is an important point. But there are only a few people who actually carry a state. Unfortunately, there are many more laggards, and that is true for any organization, that is true for any bureaucracy. We have had a bizarre situation, a very bizarre situation of revenue service officers actually protesting against the loss of their powers by the GST. An enactment of legislation which has been passed unanimously by both the houses of parliament is refused by certain people whose job is to execute government policies. I can understand there may be certain sections of the state like this. May I say the judiciary which believes that they should be making the laws. Now, if that disease was to spread to even the bureaucracy, and if by taking advantage of constitutional guarantees, they start saying no, actually, we make the laws, then that would be a terrible situation. This is not to tar the entire bureaucracy with the same brush. There are people who have been helping, who have done sterling work during the demonetization crisis. They have helped the ordinary people in their difficulties. But there have also been people who allowed the back door to be opened and which actually undermine the equitable sufferings which made it possible for some people that some people are suffering more than others. So, sir, in this entire president's address, all I want to say is that if we have to make democracy much more rounded, one of the great achievements of this government, I feel, is that they have added a new quotient to the entire equation of governance. For the first time, through the methods of direct transfer, through other imaginative uses of technology, etc., they have added the word efficiency as a necessary obligation of governance. I think this is an important step. It is a very creditable step. If we are to get out of the syndrome of being a permanently deprived, poor, underdeveloped, and helpless country, which we are not, and if the achievements of India are to be on par with the achievements of Indians, then I think it is very, very important that the entire machinery of delivery has to be looked at far more rigorously. I was therefore taken a little aback when the entire mention of administrative reforms and administrative toning up was not a part of this. It is not necessarily a lapse, but it is something which seems to be done by stealth. I wish motivation alone could be the only way out of this. There have been certain actions taken against inefficient officers. Some IAS people have been sacked, and an IPS officer has also been sacked. Stop.